Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. It's been so long. You're probably wondering why I am on the right side. Well, as you can tell, we are going to be reacting to Samito's video, Marvel Rivals, the true sequel to Overwatch 2. Overwatch 1. And as you can see, his camera is on the left side. So what we're going to do, we're going to be on the right side and we are going to react to Samito. Personally, he's one of the Overwatch channels that I really like, just because he calls it as it is. He calls Overwatch 2's crap out. He tries his best to keep the devs of Overwatch as well as everyone else working on Overwatch accountable, which I can respect very much. So go follow him for awesome content. In his video, he's going to be talking about the future and some predictions on Marvel Rivals, and we are just super stoked to watch it. So let's get right into it.
Been called a lot of things, but
wait, hang on.
Marvel Rivals been called a lot of things, but I'm going to be giving
That's
you guys
true.
my final prediction and my honest thoughts about how the game is going to perform here. And let's just cut straight to the chase. Marvel Rivals is the true sequel to the hero shooter genre.
Starting off, I really love how he says it's not like the sequel to Overwatch 2, but he also said that it's the future of hero shooters, I believe.
Then Overwatch 2 is
Hang on.
sequel to the hero shooter genre.
The sequel to the hero shooter genre. I like that he says that. He didn't say a sequel to Overwatch 2, Overwatch 1, or any other, but a sequel to the hero shooter game. And I feel like that Overwatch Marvel Rivals, if it does super well, could be the future of the hero shooter genre, just like how Overwatch 1 was like the thing back then in the hero shooter genre. So what he said is, very spot on.
They are more of a sequel to Overwatch 1 than Overwatch 2 is, which is incredible to say, because Overwatch 2 has not captured the depth of Overwatch 1. It didn't innovate on the first game at all. In fact, it actually took systems away that unfortunately they had to spend time rebuilding that have been rebuilt for the most part now. But even...
Yeah, not to mention, reworking Roadhog as well as Sombra, like a bunch of different times. It was messy, very messy.
Depth of Overwatch 1. It didn't innovate on the first game at all. In fact, it actually took systems away that unfortunately they had to spend time rebuilding that have been rebuilt for the most part now. But even then, in the head-to-head, if you're to look at features and what would define a sequel in the hero shooter genre, Marvel Rivals fits that bill more than Overwatch has, which is incredible to say. And that's not me taking a shot at Overwatch, but we have to accurately...
See, it's not, as he said, it's not a shot at Overwatch if it's true. He's stating facts over here, As well as, the damage was already being done in Overwatch 1 with that 3-year hiatus where the devs weren't talking to their player base at all, as far as I can tell. And so him saying that Marvel Rivals feels more like a sequel to Overwatch 2, as well as him saying that Marvel Rivals has something that was reminiscent of Overwatch 1 when that started out, that is valid as well, because Overwatch 2 doesn't have that or never had that. So
we have to accurately lay out what both of these games are bringing to the table. And there is one big misconception out there. At the end of the day, the winner is the consumer. We, the consumer, for the first time in really 6 years, are going to be winning in the hero shooter, arena shooter genre space. Let's talk about what this game has. Obviously, it's been coming out with a ton of new hero trailers, from Black Widow, who actually looks like she might be better balanced, Hawkeye, which is like a Genji Hanzo clone, Black Panther, Iron Fist. The list goes on of how Marvel and the NetEase developer team...
Hey, don't forget my boy Moon Knight. Don't forget him. We also love Squirrel Girl. Best people, as well as the Wolverine.
And built off the idea of a hero shooter in the Marvel verse. The way these abilities, Marvel and the NetEase developer team brilliantly captured and built off the idea of a hero shooter in the Marvel verse.
Yeah.
The way these abilities function, they're more outside of the box than Overwatch abilities. And you know, that's one reason why I say it's a sequel. When the hero designs, like Loki's clones, so many clones and shooting where you're shooting. Like, there hasn't been an ability like that in Overwatch. The amount of heroes...
Honestly, there hasn't been an ability like that in any hero shooter genre, or any hero shooter game in the genre. So that, in and of itself, makes Marvel Rivals very unique. Not to mention, as he says later down the line, I don't want to spoil anything, like team-ups and like factions. That is amazing as well, which is why, you know, I've grown to love Marvel Rivals from the very beginning.
Heroes in the game at launch is around the same that Overwatch has right now. Now, they do need to add more tank heroes and more support heroes over time, and I hope they do prioritize that. But they've captured depth and unique design brilliantly and really leaned into each Marvel character's personality in a brilliant way. Loki being a trickster. You feel like a trickster when you play him. Black Panther, a DPS doomfist Genji hybrid who is so much fun to play and combo with. Spider-Man, the insane flanker. Iron Fist, another brawly melee character. Hawkeye, again, being like that Hanzo Genji. They captured these heroes brilliantly. And to anybody out there who is doubtful because of the third person, just try and play.
And also, like, I've been playing Fortnite for a month, so I'm used to the third person. But if you are cautious about the game, you know, just the best advice I could give you, and what Samito is giving you, is try the game out. Try it out. And if you don't like it, that's okay. It's okay. There's no shame in not liking it. So, but just try it. You know, listen to Samito, Sam I Am. Try it. You may like it. But in all seriousness, again, for a third time, I'm sounding like a broken record. Just try it. Try it.
I never liked third-person games, but after playing an hour of Marvel Rivals, I was instantly hooked and fell in love with the universe. It was great. The ambiance, the gameplay loop, the way it felt to play, it was addicting. It felt like Overwatch 1. It captured something that you've not been able to feel in Overwatch 2, because unfortunately for Overwatch 2, it continues to triple down on the idea of super tanks. And the same things that have taken Overwatch away from the original Game of the Year winning core game.
And also, I'd like to add, their events, they give so little to their player base. Like, as I said in my video, like, my gripes with Overwatch, like, this new event of, like, Overwatch Classic, that was not it, honestly. It just... I didn't like the event rewards. I felt they were unfulfilling, and I feel more fulfilled with Marvel Rivals, like what they're doing for their player base, and it just, the contrast is day and night, where you feel like, okay, I'm getting free skins, and they're transparent monetization. So even if I don't pay, I'll still be able to get the skins that I would want. To Overwatch, where the battle pass is just, they're giving us, you know, nickels and dimes, as well as, like, they're just recolors and reskins of past skins. And so just, that's what I wanted to add upon Sam, what he was saying. Just, it's not it. It's not it.
Marvel built on that original model and expanded it. That's just from the gameplay side. So the gameplay's there. Let's look at the features.
Yep.
Clan system, hero bands in the game, in ranked, tournament systems as well, a replay viewer. and a cast of hundreds of characters to tap into, where they're taking community polls and doing very, very fast, almost aggressive Dota 2-esque game balance. All
Yep.
the things that Blizzard has whiffed on over the years and been mediocre at best on over the years. Now, this game probably will have its set of problems, I'm sure. But at least from what I've seen so far, they've tackled them very quickly. Not to mention...
Yeah, they have been very on it when it comes to different topics, the different controversies. I don't know if you guys remembered the NDAs when the alpha was coming out. They were able to shut it down quick. Like, just like a couple of hours after when it happened. And they were like, yeah, we didn't know that was happening, or yeah, that didn't happen. They were able to just shut it down really quick. So you gotta respect them for being quick to address certain topics.
I've seen so far, they've tackled them very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, a lot of people were throwing shade on them, saying, oh, well, the heroes are going to be paid, it's going to be a gotcha game, any of this stuff. They announced that...
And not to mention, Overwatch 2 has non-NDAs. They have NDAs as well, so don't call the pot... What is it? Don't... What was it? Pot call the kettle black? Don't throw a stone and hide your hand, or something like that. Or it's like, don't throw stones when you're living in a glass house. Overwatch 2 has NDAs as well, and as far as I can tell, they haven't addressed that either. So...
Hero in the future is going to be free for everyone to play.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Saying, oh, well, the heroes are going to be paid, it's going to be a gotcha game, any of this stuff. They announced that every hero in the future is going to be free for everyone to play.
Yep, that's true. It's going to be free to play.
Brilliant. They've done everything right. So if you want my prediction for what Marvel Rivals is, it's the first real Overwatch competitor. I don't know how much...
I liked how he said it's the first Overwatch competitor. A lot of people are saying, is this going to kill Overwatch? Is this the Overwatch killer? Please stop saying that. We called X Defiant the Call of Duty killer, and we all know how that's happening right now. It's shutting down. X Defiant is shutting down. So, Samito saying it's the Overwatch competitor, it is very accurate. Very accurate. And I hope Marvel Rivals takes off and it blows up.
Overwatch competitor. I don't know how much of the Overwatch player base it's going to take. There are more players unsatisfied with Overwatch as an IP now than really ever before. And that's not even necessarily because of the PvE fumble. It really is super tanks. And frankly, Overwatch 2 stripped...
Oh, not only the just because of super tanks and the PvE, but also the skill tree that was being, crossed off as they weren't doing that anymore, as well as what else? I could go on and on. Next, like a TV show being shut down, all the way to the matchmaking system. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons why the Overwatch player base is mad. So yeah.
Stripped away hero identity. Hanzo does not play the same anymore. You can't really play him, right? Because of the PvE fumble. It really is super tanks. And frankly, Overwatch 2 stripped away hero identity. Hanzo does not play the same anymore. You can't really play him, right? You can't split tanks. Doomfist is now a tank. Genji has a wet noodle for an ultimate, right? the elimination.
Oh, a wet noodle. Dang. Samito, don't change. Don't change. Ugh. But like, yeah, Genji's been nerfed to death. It's like, give the guy a break. He's not like what he once was. And it's heartbreaking. And it's just seeing him in Overwatch Classic, Genji, and like what he is now, it's like, oh, like that one meme in The Godfather. Look how they massacred my boy. It's just like, yeah, they massacred him as well as every other character in Overwatch.
Eliminations per 1,000 damage done are record low. Like, I had games today where I had 7,000 damage with 7 limbs in high rank. That's not fun. That's just double shield. instead of addressing the Giga Sustain issues in Overwatch and addressing the problematic designs, Blizzard has done nothing but run from these problems for years, changing formats twice to escape horrible metas that their design team never sat down and tried to accurately address. They added more and more characters that cheated the original foundation, the original rules of the game that made it have so much depth, be so approachable, and be so much fun.
Yep.
And now, the original game that we...
As well as they cut down on their cinematics, on their lore. So, like, you don't even know what the story, what it is at all. So, that's one of the reasons why I was starting to not like Overwatch, was because, you know, the story was all over the place. Like, what was happening? Like, it just... Yeah, I said I loved the Kiriko cinematic, and that's what got me into the game, but it just... Later down the months and later down the line, it didn't make sense where it was going. You didn't see where it was going. So...
Now, the original game that we all fell in love with those rules in particular, i.e. no super tanks, heroes all had downtime. Overwatch is tripling down on that model. It's got a chat ban system that makes the game super unapproachable from a competitive standpoint. I have players in my chat coming to me saying, yo, we're getting banned for defending people slurring us, because the kids who slur and stuff, they just get on all the accounts anyway, but the people who flame them back are getting banned from a very, very predatory chat ban system. Marvel...
Yeah. You can't even say any, you know... They'll still ban you when you type up curse words. It's bad. Really bad. Penguin Zero made a video on it too, where it's like, okay, so it's a shooter game. There's gonna be toxic people anyway, so why not just take out the toxic people instead of the ones defending other people from, like, people saying slurs? And just it's bad all around. Overwatch has it's a big dumpster fire. So I don't know.
Really does have a perfect storm to take a chunk here and go head to head with Overwatch for the first time. This is the first game that in genre will be able to go head to head with Overwatch. And it's so great for all of us at home because everybody wins this way. What people have to understand, whether you're an Overwatch fan or you're a Marvel fan, whatever side in this, I guess, game war you're going to take, at the end of the day, for the first time, the consumer is going to start winning.
Yeah, that's true. Whether it be, you know, Overwatch or Marvel Rivals, like what he says, we're eating really, really good today. We're eating really good in a couple of hours.
And that's a great feeling because we're going to have options. If one game season is bad, then we can switch to the other. Or if one season's great, we can play it here. We have variety. We have options. What I want everyone at home to take is that all of us finally are going to start winning. So what's my prediction for Marvel Rivals as they finally start dropping all these amazing skins, new hero trailers, the whole shebang? This game is going to be big. How big? I don't know. But I think it will be as big as Overwatch 1. 100%.
Yeah, so far it's looking really big. Really big. It's looking really good. And, you know, as I've said before, and I say it again, I hope Marvel Rivals blows up, and I hope that it does really well, because you can tell that a lot of passion and a lot of thought was put behind every skin, every choice that they made, from Battle Pass to monetization, all the way to the characters. The way they play, the kit, the designs, and the skins, you can tell that every character was created out of passion and love. So I hope it does really well and it pays off.
Game will be as big as Overwatch 1, and it has something that Overwatch does not have. It has hope. It has hope. I've been in the Overwatch scene from the very beginning, and it's very, very clear that the space is helpless. It's just helpless. It's not going anywhere. There's no big dream for what Overwatch can be. There's no big bang. They burned that trust with Overwatch 2. And the PvP is now significantly worse and way more boring.
And the skill trees are non-existent. The lore and cinematics are boring. And just, you know, seeing Hazard and like their new tanks and like the new characters coming out, it doesn't get me excited for the future of Overwatch. And it's sad because I fell in love with the cinematics. I fell in love with each of the characters, and they felt well written, complex, and three-dimensional. And now it's just they're a shell of its former self.
But Marvel, they have hope. They've got the most popular storylines ever written in the world backing their game with a franchise that has far more reach than Overwatch does. And that's no fault of Overwatch. Marvel's just huge. It's been around for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. About 100 years, I think. And for the first time...
yeah, he's not wrong. It's been around for almost... Because Marvel started in the 60s. Or maybe they did, like, you know, a rebrand. But yeah, I think they've been around for almost 100 years. Like, they've had enough time to create amazing stories, amazing characters, amazing TV shows, movies. If you haven't seen Earth's Mightiest Heroes, that was peak Avengers, as well as Guardians of the Galaxy for a brief time. But yeah, they've had a lot of time to really dive deep into these different characters and create new characters.
Ever really in the Marvel. I guess there are some Marvel games that are big. But this is their first time branching into this space. And they can make waves with this, with all the different things.
Waves is an understatement. If we're talking about tsunami waves of impact, then yeah, he's right. So, but there's been a lot that happened this year of just Marvel Rivals. They've been gaining a ton of fans, as well as, you know, a ton of people playing the game and loving it.
Different fandoms they can tap into. The more heroes they add as well, it's going to be a better game for content creation because they're able to put out more content than Blizzard can. That's going to be very attractive to a lot of content creators, including myself. It's a fresh start, a chance to learn with a long list of content and updates and different things that can come out. That's going to make it really appealing for content creators to get involved.
Yep, amen to that. That's one of the reasons why I'm starting fresh, starting this, as well as, you know, continuing with reactions, as well as streaming. I want to get into Marvel Rivals streaming and content creation around Marvel Rivals because they've been pumping it out consistently. And it's been good for content creators because, you know, that's new stuff to talk about.
I saw Valorant come out, and I told you, it's not going to compete with Overwatch. It might take some players and people, especially esports people, ended up going over there. But it's not really Overwatch. It's a completely different game. Like, it scratches a different itch. Gundam Evolution came out, and I said, this game's bad. It's not going to do anything. Visually, it's just not there. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, RIP Gundam Evolution. I loved that game. I loved Gundam Evolution. It was a fun game, but it just... the wait lines were so long. I was able to get up, eat a snack, and have some water because of how long it was. But still, in my opinion, I loved the gameplay. But RIP, they shut down like months ago.
This game is it, guys. This is it. This is the new era. They have pioneered and reinvented the wheel in the
It's a whole new world, baby.
They need to add the global regen passive. If they do that, the game will be great. It's back in open queue. You can kind of flex queue. And open queue might have its problems, but my big prediction is that Overwatch will eventually go back to open queue because Marvel was going to take a lot of players. It's going to make queue times even worse in role queue, and they'll deem it not sustainable. That's my guess. And I'm so excited to see it. I'm so excited to see the change and innovation that this game brings. Because now that there's real competition, both Blizzard and NetEase are going to innovate against each other. And I am just here for the spectacle, and I'm here to frickin' game. So let me make this clear. My prediction for Marvel Rivals is it's not just going to take a small chunk of Overwatch players. It's going to take a sizable chunk of Overwatch players. And if they keep this progress and this momentum up the next 6 months, you're looking at another tier 1 game. Lord
Amen
knows
to that.
what these guys could do with all these characters. The team-ups, I didn't even mention the team-ups. They leaned into synergy while Blizzard ran away from it. Marvel embraces what makes hero shooters fun while Blizzard shunned it. And creators in the Overwatch space also shunned it. Though I think that's a lot of that is a bit of trying to appease Blizzard and look good in their eyes for some people, not for a lot of.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of people that were shunned, or they just didn't want to do synergy. So there's another video that I really like by GS Raider where he was calling out different content creators in the Overwatch community. I really loved. He's another Overwatch content creator that I really like. Shout out to him. Go watch his stuff. If you want to learn more about the video or about his content. So yeah, go follow him.
Not for a lot of people though. I think like people like Frito make good opinions on speaking their mind, different stuff like that. But I've seen some bad takes outside of my friend group that are just ludicrous. Where it's like people play the hero shooter genre for the heroes. If you limit hero identity instead of building on it and building on synergies, you're giving people less reason to play the game. And this is an easy mistake to make. It's easy to fall into because you think you're like, okay, let's make this game simpler since it's more approachable to people. But the reality is the opposite happens, where you want more depth because people come to these genres looking for depth. If they wanted simple, they would go play Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true. The reason why people wanted Marvel Rivals as well as Overwatch 1 was because of depth. Because, they wanted the meat and the potatoes. They wanted the core. They wanted more. They wanted to go down deep. Very deep.
Duty. But the hero shooter genre, it's not a McDonald's. It's a steakhouse. And so you need to learn how to.
That's a really good that's a good comparison. Marvel Rivals, Overwatch, the hero shooter genre in general is a steakhouse. It is a grill and bar restaurant where if you want the steak with the potatoes and the broccoli, yeah, you can get the steak, potatoes, and broccoli. And Overwatch fell from a 5-star steakhouse to like a 2.5. 2.5. Just because, they tried to make some of the promises that they wanted, but they didn't keep it. And most of the fans of that restaurant, they didn't like it. And so they just, they left. So I really love this comparison.
To learn how to make better steak, not cook McDonald's tier meals. Overwatch 2 is McDonald's, while Overwatch 1 was a steakhouse. Marvel Rivals, it was inspired by that steakhouse and built a goddamn buffet of Michelin star chef steaks on the table. Gordon Ramsay approved. They lean into it while Blizzard runs away from it and tries to make the game easier, tries to make the game simpler. But that's not why people play hero shooters. They play it for the unique characters. They play it for the synergy. They play it for the depth, the big moments. And while
he's spitting facts, let him cook. Let him cook, people. Because it's so true. So true. So true, everybody. Ugh.
From all of these things, Marvel Rivals leaned into all of them and doubled down. So my prediction, this is bold, call me crazy. Marvel Rivals will overtake Overwatch as the prominent hero shooter. At least.
And I hope it does, because by gosh, by golly, this game, it looks amazing. It looks really good. Really good. And I hope it does. And here's an even bolder prediction. You can call me crazy, but I bet it's probably going to win Game of the Year in 2025. I bet it's going to win Game of the Year. That's my prediction for Marvel Rivals. It's going to be so good. that it wins Game of the Year.
Bounce back. I don't think Marvel Rivals is better than peak Overwatch 1, but it certainly is better than peak Overwatch 2. So what do you guys think? Do you think Marvel Rivals is going to give Overwatch 2 a run for its money? I do. I'm switching this channel over 100%. I'm sold after playing it. It's so much fun. We'll probably be...
He's just like me for real. But also, I really loved his points. They're very valid about Overwatch 2 and about Marvel Rivals. And I will echo his statement at the end of the day. The consumers and customers are going to be winning. But let me know what you guys think. Will Marvel Rivals be a good Overwatch 2 competitor, or Overwatch 1 a true sequel to Overwatch 1? And comment below your thoughts, and make sure to like, share, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new streams or videos, as well as follow Samito. He's got some really great stuff. And I will see you guys on the Flippity Flop. And remember to feel the flow and high five the sky. And I'll see you next time.